Now broadcasting from the Next Gen Conservative Studio in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report with Sam Whitfield.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Whitfield Report. It's going to be a bit of a low-key show tonight, I'm thinking, mainly because I realized today, as I was planning this stream, that Ralphomania is on today, which is Ethan Ralph's or the Gunt, as we like to call him around these parts. It is his shitty, it's his shitty event that he's doing. So I was tuned into the live stream a little bit earlier, and then I decided to interrupt the show, and then OBS decided to take a giant shit on me, or rather the camera part, and for some reason OBS would not pick up my camera that I use to project. So yeah, but we're here now. So anyway, I don't know where Apex Gamma is. I sent him the link, but he'll pop in here. Anyone who wants to jump in here, I'm going to take a bit of a risk tonight, and I'm going to post the link to jump in the chat for anyone who wants to participate in the celebrations, in the birthday celebrations. I'm gonna post the link to join in the YouTube chat, so bear with me a sec while I get that all copied and pasted. Holy shit, holy crap, Streamlabs actually is working again. Well, Bernie and Zach show just subscribed. Thank you very much. We had them on 2 weeks ago, but thank you for subbing to the channel. I really appreciate that. Thank God OBS finally got or Streamlabs finally got that sorted out. So yeah, I'm going to just post the link to join in chat, so hold on a sec. And I will also do roll call. I did see that we have Ash and Fell in a Meadow. And Ash says, "It's your birthday, Sam. Mine was on Tuesday." Well, Ash, happy belated birthday. And my birthday isn't today, but my birthday is on Tuesday. So yeah. And Morpheus goes, that explains how Bernie and Zach found me on Twitter through Brother Sam. Probably. I don't know how they found me, honestly, though. Bernie and Zach are new upcoming podcast. I had them on 2 weeks ago. Very interesting guys. If you like O&A type radio, in that whole thing, I don't want to say they're exact like copies of O&A, but they have a pretty unique spin. I will say they do more like Southern style morning radio is how I would describe them. Also, holy shit, my mic monitors are working properly this go around. I can actually hear myself in my headset. So that is awesome. Usually I don't hear myself. But anyway, if you troublemakers would like to pop up in the make a guest appearance in the stream. I haven't done an open line show for a number of years actually, but if you guys would like to participate in the program, and I'm sure that Fellow in a Meadow will undoubtedly come and torment me, because she is, I am the most savage cripple on the internet, but she is the most savage woman on the internet. She's mean even to the people that she likes, usually. So, yeah. Well, shit, blue balls, melon doesn't work for me. I don't know why that is, Ash. I've contacted their customer support, and yeah, I don't know what to tell you. This is why we need more patrons for the channel too, because OBS won't work on my desktop without making my CPU and therefore my fans go absolutely, like my little computer fans go absolutely crazy. And then Melon for some reason hates Ash's mic. I maintain it's because something is probably messed up with his computer settings. And if I got in, like if I were actually physically at Ash's apartment or home or wherever he's, wherever it's set up, I bet I could fix the problem on site for you, Ash. Because when it comes to, computers, I am just that good. But yeah. So anyway, what do we have going on tonight? Well, like I said, we have Ethan Ralph's Ralph Mania event, and I caught a little bit of it. And don't worry, I'm not going to make you all watch the Gunt, but from what I've been told, from what I've seen, and from what was reported earlier, the Gunt has been arrested. Whoops, faux pas there. The Gunt has been served. I mean, not arrested, but served. I kind of wish he were arrested though, if I'm being honest. The Gunt was served not once, not twice, but 3 times by various people at his own event, at his own like amateur pro wrestling event. And so that was amusing. Other than that, it was just him making an ass of himself at like an amateur pro wrestling event. And listen, folks, I know I have people who like pro wrestling, like Morpheus there. I know that some of you out there like pro wrestling. However, this event is not only is it amateur pro wrestling, but it's like a parody of what pro wrestling might be. It's literally the stereotype. If you're a wrestling fan, like people who hate pro wrestling will just say, "Oh, it's just a bunch of sweaty fat guys wrestling in their underwear." But folks, this is what this event literally was, Ralph Mania, and it was just a bunch of degenerates from Gamergate, basically, getting together, getting drunk, and watching like other drunks wrestle in a fighting ring. I will give it to Ethan Ralph. Somehow the man knows how to, I guess, I wouldn't even say make money, but like con people out of other people out of their hard-earned money. Um, so that's something. But it's not all bad because I did get I want to show this to you folks. So on occasion I will have guests and fans of the show that will send me various, little trinkets and gifts. And I was actually fortunate enough to have Mr. Vickers of The Good, the Bad, and the Vicious send me this authentic let's see here. Send me this authentic piece of Mexican silver that's actually from Mexico, which is more than Ethan Ralph has, because for anyone that's not caught up on the lore, Ethan Ralph has fled to Mexico, claiming that he is now, that it's cheaper to live in Mexico than it is to, live in the U.S. So I received this gift from the California coin merchant himself, Vicious Vickers. Very cool. And in the label here even says, here's a Mexican silver coin. So you have more Mexican silver than Ralph. Happy 2023. So that's cool. I actually have like I don't know if this is a peso, but it's like an actual. Oh, and it looks like it's actually got like. Let me see. Can I pop this out of its sleeve here real quick? Let me see if I can. Oh, holy cow! I can. Okay, let me see if I can get this out of the sleeve. First, I should be able to, if my crippled fingers will let me, that is. And come on, Sammy. Come on. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, in my hand here, I have an official silver coin from Mexico, which is more than Ethan Ralph has to his name. And this is actually cool. There's some, I think it just says, oh, it says Independencia on the side of the coin as well. So that's nice. And yes, thanks to Mr. Vickers for the early birthday gifts. I know he didn't necessarily plan on sending it out as a birthday gift, but I appreciate it nonetheless. So anyway, how's everyone in chat doing tonight? Hope you are well. I did do a show earlier in the week about the whole limited run games debacle and that whole thing. And I was hoping that Akaba would pop on tonight to discuss that, but I guess he is not. He's not around. I'm trying to message Apex to see if he is coming on, because I did send him the link. But let's see here. But maybe he's not on either. I don't know. So in other news, what's this we have about Biden? Apparently Biden is it was found that he had FBI, that he had classified documents himself in in his in his garage or something. Hang on, I'm getting a DM. Okay. Yeah, so apparently Biden himself has like classified documents in his basement or whatever, which is amusing considering that that's what Trump got in trouble for allegedly. And now it turns out that Biden himself has classified documents. So that's I shouldn't say I'm really surprised, because as always these these libs are always hypocritical, and so at this point nothing really surprised me with Biden. My question though is, as always, is anything going to be done about Biden having classified documents? That is the real question. And honestly, I don't know the answer to that. Most likely nothing will happen to Biden, because nothing ever happens to the elites in this country. Really, they never get punished for their crimes, ever. So yeah, the Storm of Wrenches says, happy birthday, Sam. Thank you. Wrenches, hope you're doing well. I thought for sure we would get more people in here by now. I will be doing an additional birthday stream on Tuesday, which is when my actual birthday is. I realized that, there are a couple other big events happening tonight that I guess are going on YouTube. So not necessarily my fault that there are a couple big sporting events, but yeah. Morpheus says they get away with everything. Well, if somehow you or I got access to those documents, we'd be locked up. Even though, how do we get them if Anole didn't screw it up? Storm Ranchers, are we just dang out being racist? Yeah, pretty much. That's what we're doing. We're just dang out. Apex was supposed to be on here. I sent him the DM to the stream earlier, and he said he would be on here, but I think, well, knowing Apex, he probably just fell asleep. Let me try and see if I can ping him again. Either he's working late or just fell asleep. I'm not sure which at this point. My money is on he fell asleep at this point, but I could be wrong. Maybe he's dating that cute Mexican. So Genius Anus might be popping in here, so let me see about that. I know that Genius Anus has been watching Ralphomania more than I have. So, and Ash just popped in. I don't know if his mic will work, but let's see here. Hopefully it'll be the one time it does. Yo, Ash, your mic working? Fuck. Melon sometimes can be so dumb. Yep. Well, more of this goes hang out with my ring out. Let's see. Okay, I think Melon hates British people, Ash, or either that or they're prejudiced. I know they're prejudiced against Logitech microphones because when I emailed them about it, they're like, "Oh, does your friend have a Logitech microphone?" And I'm like, "I'm not sure." And they said, "Well, Logitech won't work with this shit." So I don't know. Whatever. Holy shit. Holy shit. Jolly Rogers is in the chat saying happy birthday, bud. Thank you. Thank you, Jolly. Haven't seen you in a minute. As says, fuck it. I haven't tried Brave browser. Yeah, I know. Yeah, boy, Melon is really fucking up for some reason. So if anyone wants to pop in here, though, the link to join is pinned in the chat, which I really do. But anyway, Max Sand says, "Let's go." And Max too has been watching Ralph Mania or whatever. Although you would think it's 10 at night, so wouldn't that show be over? Maybe not. I don't know. So I mean the thing it is too is I would have booked I was tempted to book a guest tonight, but the other thing too was I was wondering if people wanted me to do the birthday stream tonight or do on Tuesday. So I ran a poll on Friday, late third. No, I started the poll late like Thursday night, into this morning, and I asked, should I have the birthday stream on Saturday or on Tuesday, which is my actual birthday? And with Twitter polls being, the way we apparently run everything now, I would have figured out, I could get a clear answer, but nope. The poll was split 50-50 down the fucking middle. So that shit doesn't, that doesn't really surprise me. I guess the other notable thing is I pissed off some of Tommy Laren's fans, which I didn't even know she had fans these days. But she made a tweet, I think it was on Thursday, saying how there were no gentlemen left, how there are no gentlemen under 40, and how all men under 40 are just rude assholes and they have no respect for women. And, I called her on that and said that the only reason why she had a career was based off of her looks, and if that we're going to go for, generalizations, I can play the generalization game too. And apparently, she didn't like that, but, or rather her stands in it. Holy shit, we have Genus Anus and Max Sand.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on? What's going on, gentlemen? I realized I picked a bad night to stream as soon as you DM me this morning saying that Ralph-A-Mania was on.
You know what? I know I busted your balls about that earlier today, but I'm pretty thankful that you did, because after suffering through Ralph-A-Mania, I was actually looking forward to the Whitfield report tonight a lot more than usual. And take that as a compliment that it's meant to be, or it's an insult if you think about the implications. Just don't think about it too much.
Well, honestly, all I've been doing, because I think Apex pulled the move where he got drunk and fell asleep before the show, and so he's not here. I was going to cover Ralph-Mania, but then Cogstream got shut down, and so I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting this shit shut down.
Yeah, Ralph doesn't have as many in his personal army as he used to, because he only managed to get COG shut down twice with Nora's email and a bogus copyright strike. He wasn't able to take down Comfy by legal or other means. Like, he allegedly had like people that could take down the Comfy stream, and they didn't. And then allegedly he was having a DDoS attack on it, and that didn't work.
I saw that he got served like 3 times though.
I think I'm seeing a confirmed 5 times. Though one of them was pretty big and epic, and like right at the beginning of his late stream.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As soon as the fucking show came on the air, they did like a national anthem, and then the cops busted in, and Ethan Ralph had been served. It's pretty a wild event. The wrestling was as a fan of particularly old school wrestling, but I even still watch some of the modern stuff. Although I don't sit down and watch a show. Nowadays, I'll watch clips on YouTube, right? Because it's kind of boring. But like, what that was what they call an indie outlaw mud show, right? It is garbage wrestling.
Dude, I've seen better wrestling at a carnival.
I literally was saying that to my wife. That we were watching this and we were like, oh, we went to Kitty's Day and they had free wrestling in a dirt field.
This is the type of shit you would expect in the middle of a cornfield with a sign that just says, "Watch my inbred son wrestle an invisible bear." Like, this is a Family Guy skit.
And like to you know, to be fair, some of those guys a little more talented than others, but like that's the problem is they couldn't work in
the MVP of the night was Chase Savage, who was one of the 5 servers for Ralph.
Yeah, exactly.
He was previously the main event on the ticket, supposed to fight Cisco, but instead he served Ralph right at the beginning of Cisco's match.
Yeah, it's pretty epic and a big win for the Vickers clan. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, which by the way, I finally got my payment as Vickers' capo, and it's about damn time. I have.
We all have silver now.
You got your 50 pesos of silver, huh?
Yeah, we all got our silver for being Judas.
Yeah, which is more than Ralph has, and this is probably actually worth more. This is probably actually worth more in just pure silver than the current U.S. currency is, because our economy is so fucked.
Until Biden figures out what precious metals are, so he can destroy that market too.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Yeah, I saw you posted a dirty T-shirt. And then Harry was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. So I don't know if that was deliberate or sometimes for whatever reason, if you order like clothing through the mail, when it arrives here in Florida, it just gets like
Florida's just naturally dirty.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So when I took,
it is a swamp after all.
Well, when I took it out of the box, like it had like a pungent odor to it, and like had it had
pre-smashed mosquitoes.
I mean, it honestly kind of smelled like it didn't smell quite as bad as like a skunk, but like, you know, if you've been wearing like your t-shirt for like 2 or 3 days, like it begins to smell after a while. It smelled like that, and I would have been offended, but I'm like, no, this is actually, you know,
it's fitting.
This is actually fitting. So
that's what lets you know it's authentic. Mine unfortunately came clean, which is bullshit because I specifically requested some autographs on it. So now I got to drive all the way to fucking California to get my damn shirt signed.
I actually have mine here in the background. If you wanted to get it, I haven't really even unfurled it yet. And I was giving Vickers shit. I'm like, well, it's extra large, and he's like,
how's that gonna help me get mine signed?
Oh my god! Pod Awful just tweeted, "Party bus is here. I have my ticket." And it's a picture of the party bus for VIP ticket holders.
I love how Pod Awful from fucking with Merch to fucking with Ralph.
Well, you know, the thing about Jesse is he goes to where he can be funniest, you know, and not everybody appreciates his brand of humor. But he really pulled it out tonight. Because he was...
You know, I started off, I've told you about it. I started off not really knowing what to think about Pod Awful, but I'm actually glad I got you on here, Max. How the fuck do I subscribe to this motherfucker? So I've got to get let into this community of Pod Awful.
I think it's, I don't quote me on this. I think it's podawful.com now. It used to be podawful.pizza.
Okay.
And I think a lot of the content on there is free, so you don't even have to subscribe to like peep it up, because like, bro, this guy's been funny in my opinion, Paul Awful has been funny for like over 10 years. I've been watching him. I first fucked around with Paul Awful when Cantwell used to do a show way back, and then we had a show after him, and the guy that ran the show, Asa, name, was like, oh, this is the after show of Cantwell's show. And he was fucking with Cantwell, so he came into the show to fuck with us, but he realized we're a bunch of trolls too, and we just gave it back right to him. And like went over to his chat and was talking shit with his people, and we were all cool. Like, he's a really, like, honestly, in my dealings with Jesse, he is a really cool guy. He's never,
yeah. No, he's made fun of. I mean, I've been on his show, and he's made fun of the fact that, like, I'm crippled to my face, and people are like, "Oh my god, that's awful," and I'm like, "But that's on brand for Jesse."
The thing I'll say about him, and it's been something I've watched, is, like I said, I didn't know what to make of him at first, so I just kind of put a pin in it. But I was watching him, and his only enemies are the people like Ralph that just hate anybody that make fun of them, or the people that follow those people. Like, it's not like the Keto Casino or Cog or anything like that, to where he has enemies outside of the people that he specifically fucks with. Everybody seems to be on his side.
Well, or streamers that, like, take themselves way too seriously. Like that's how he got into the whole beef with, like, Merch, and that's why he started fucking with Merch, was because he saw that Merch was an egomaniac, and so he's like, oh my god, this.
And maybe you think it's a little more serious than he does. Like, that's a thing. I think that's where people get lost with him, is like, he doesn't think any of this fucking internet shit is serious at all.
No.
Or if it is, it shouldn't be. Right? That's basically his mentality on it. You might not be that extreme on it, right? You might think, well, some things should be taken a little seriously or whatever. Or I like to take myself a little seriously sometimes, or that's fine to have that difference of opinion. But if you understand it from his point of view, that none of this shit should be serious because it's just internet bullshit and a bunch of grown men puffing their chests at each other and acting like fools, or you're just people being fools on the internet, goons. That's his word.
Yeah,
well, I like it. I use goons. I stole it from Jesse. I'm not sorry, but
so I don't take the internet. It's a good word. I don't take the internet shit seriously. I do take, like, the stuff that, like, legality shit and morality shit. I kind of take a little seriously, but not, like, strictly online shit. If it's straight up internet shit, I don't care.
Right. I don't even take the news seriously because right before you guys jumped on, like, I saw on Twitter that someone was saying that, oh, Biden had top secret documents in his garage or whatever, and I'm like, that doesn't fucking surprise me at all.
This is like the 6th batch of 5 new documents for a total of like 30 fucking documents. So yeah, I don't care anymore either, but everybody thinks, oh, this is going to be the one where they're going to perp-wop the president. They couldn't even do that with Trump. You think they're going to do that with Biden?
I think the right's not as interested in this as the left. And the left is interested in this for one reason and one reason only, is they don't want him to run again. And I think he is being a stubborn, crazy old man and saying he's going to do it. And so this is their way of having some leverage over him to tell him to. They're trying to take the keys from the old man. I don't think they want to take him out of office. I don't think they want to impeach him and perp walk him. I think they don't want him to run in 2024.
Yeah, they want him to sunset himself.
Or at least an element of the left doesn't want that. And I think it's a very strong element of the left, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact that they ran him in 2020 was, like, my evidence for why the election. Oh, I forget. I'm on YouTube. Never mind.
Why the election in 2020 was fair and balanced, and nothing was wrong with that at all.
Let's play a game here. If they put me in charge of rebuilding the DNC's brand for 2024, do you know what I would do? Do you know who I would run? I have the perfect candidate for the Dems that even a lot of Republicans will see as a strong candidate, even if they don't support him. You ready?
Tulsi Gabbard.
Nope.
You said him.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
He suggested that he was going to run before. And he even said he would run specifically against Trump, right? So there's that.
And his VP should be Oprah.
And he's got the whole nice guy thing going for him. And I think tell me a better candidate that the actual Dems could field than him.
It's a very high bar, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I was in charge of the Dems right now, I would be sucking that man's dick to get him on board. If that meant literally, then we will hire some of our drag show trannies and we'll get over there and get on it, right? But that, like, everything you have to do in the whole world to get Dwayne Johnson on your ticket for 2024, you would do it if you actually like wanted to win as a Democrat.
But the thing is,
but he's too centrist for most of them.
That's what I'm saying. Is Dwayne Johnson is probably like too right wing for most.
But he's also,
you know what? You're right. We need John Cena. John Cena is the perfect replacement to Biden. You can't see him. Number one. Number two, he can moderately speak Chinese. So there's your foreign relations right there.
Yeah, and he's already sworn fealty to this. Yeah, he's already sworn fealty publicly to the CCP. So
yeah, he's the poor little white guy in that little bukkake of the international affair.
But yeah, no, that would be like the smart play if you were a Democratic strategist right now, is to get and getting somebody more centrist would actually probably win a general election. The problem that they have is they're worried about their primaries and they're worried about their local elections where they're getting primaried by like Justice Democrats and stuff like that.
But the thing with it is like what's bizarre is like even most Democrats don't like buy into this whole like trans LGBTQIAP.
Not to the degree that they're seeing it. Yeah, not at all. Particularly the stuff with children. Now, I live in Massachusetts, right? These people are, what I would say about the area I live in is it's more libertarian than right-wing, so to speak.
Right.
But there's a lot of Democrats here. And that's exactly, how they see things is like, the stuff with the kids is where they're drawing the line. I'm literally meaning I've been to PTA meetings about this and I've talked to other parents and this is something I'm talking about from experience from this area, at least among Democrats, not just conservative people. Like I know the people that support Trump, right? They're pretty loud about it.
Yeah.
The other people too, the people wearing masks for fuck's sake, just have had enough about the stuff with the kids.
Well, I know you told me that you don't really live close to Boston, but just from my impression of Boston and the few times I've been there, Boston is still a city where they'll be like, fucking queers. Ain't nobody's gonna tell me my son's fucking gay.
There's definitely some of them around, but
oh no, the last time I was in Boston, most of the people were replaced by people by the Institute. No, it just didn't seem that great. There's fucking radiation everywhere.
It's nowadays. I mean, it's a leftist stronghold, Boston, and that's why they win the elections, because everybody out here is either like center left, center right, or fucking libertarian leaning. Right? That's outside of Boston. The rest of Massachusetts, if you look at it on maps, you'll see that most of Massachusetts, landmass wise, county wise, went for Trump.
Yeah,
both times. I'm not just talking in 2016. I mean in 2020 as well.
I think I want to run for president in 2024. I want to run as a uniparty, and my one and only plank on my one and only platform would be that I'm going to fire everyone in government from the top on down that's been in government since 2000. It's like if you've been working in the government, federal or otherwise, since the year 2000, you're done. You're done. I'm going to fire you. You're banned from working in any form of government or public service. You've done your service. Goodbye. Go.
From the top on down.
I'm sure you'll get all the super PACs on board with you for that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, and that's the other question though. Does a third party even have like a does a third party?
Oh God, no.
If ever there was a chance for a third party to make a showing, at least, and become invited to future debates and things like that, and become acknowledged,
it was Nader. Honestly,
no, actually, it was the Libertarian Party had the chance in 2016 because and you know, people might scoff at that, but how many people out there absolutely hated both Trump and Hillary? And if you ran a decent candidate as a libertarian and not Gary fucking Johnson making a mockery of everything, you might have actually had think about that for a second. If they'd gotten somebody high profile on board that could talk a little bit of fucking sense. You know,
I mean, clearly,
Amash or somebody like that.
Trump knowing where Aleppo was the most important thing for a president. We could not have a president that didn't know where the fuck Aleppo was.
Yeah, but the mocking heart attack shit, like, he was a clown. In 2012, I voted for Gary Johnson, right? In 2016, he was a clown, and he made a clown of the party. And the party makes a clown of itself on a regular basis. And that was the point.
I thought he had it with the fucking pothead vote because he was the only person on any of it that was fucking for marijuana. I don't even think the fucking Green Party was for marijuana in 2016.
I believe so. But the thing is like, you know, it wasn't an energetic candidate. It wasn't somebody people could get behind. But you think about it, just ignore Gary Johnson, you know, having won it for a second. If you could just pick anybody you wanted, why would you pick him? Because everybody, like, there was a large contingent of people kind of in the center that were like, I hate Trump and Hillary. And if you just had somebody just marginal.
I mean, in 2016, I didn't like Trump either. I thought he was an asshole. But he was an asshole that was pissed off the people that I wanted to be pissed off. So,
and I'm not talking about, like, you know, winning the election either. I'm saying you get that 5% where you're now included in debates and everything, and you get treated as, and you get on the ballot. Ballot access is the huge one to get that.
But if you get 6%, then the roll is going to be 10%, and you know damn well they can do it and would do it in a heartbeat.
Okay, well, that's never happened before, right?
It's never had to.
And currently, that's the threshold. And I'm saying I think they could have got it in 2016, and they blew it. Like they always do, because libertarians blow every fucking chance anyone gives them to fucking carry the ball. They blow it with infighting. They blow it with getting way too spurgic about stuff. I call it autism. I spell it OUGHTism because they're like, well, the way things ought to be is this. And I'm like, yes, but in the real world, it's not like that. And they're like, yes, but that's how it ought to be.
I swear to God, if you fed all the pie in the sky to the libertarians, they'd all die of fucking beatus.
And
I love them too. Like I have this, like,
oh yeah,
you know, I've been around libertarians a long time.
I've been independent, but I always tell people I'm a small L libertarian. I'm a very small L libertarian because I just like fucking freedom. Like,
well, I'm more, you know, I have some parts where I'm definitely not a libertarian. That's why I'm kind of a Buchananite, if you will. But regardless of that, libertarians can be really fucking awesome and helpful and useful when they do things right, but they have this tendency to just dick themselves into the dirt with stupid nonsense, or like make mockery, like the whole Free Keene thing. I was actually considering a project I might want to do, but it would require some fundraising. Would be a documentary on the Free State Project, specifically the Free Keene Project, which is the people like Christopher Cantwell, Ian Freeman, Adam Kokesh, and others who are just an absolute mockery of everything. And if you want somebody to take your movement seriously, you know, having those people around ain't going to help. I'm not saying, purge your people or optics or whatever. I'm just saying having these people around harassing normal people in the town that they live in with their stupid protests and shit is nothing good for libertarian. I know, because I talked to the people who formed the group Stop Free Keene for years. And like their whole thing was these people are smoking pot in the town square. They're doing naked protests, at the fucking 4th of July celebration. They're doing all this weird shit in our normal middle class fucking town. What is wrong with you fucking people?
Well, my whole thing, I actually made this argument recently. The Libertarian Party right now is kind of like Gamergate was in the,
I thought that was buried.
Well, hear me out.
We had a meeting, Sam.
No. Well, hear me. Well, that's kind of my point. That's some of my point. Like people keep saying, "Oh, Gamergate this, Gamergate that," but what did Gamergate do? Absolutely fucking nothing, except for allow the most degenerate people to get known online for LARPing as right wingers, right? But like I know some of the Gamergators were like, well, we're the reason why Trump got elected. And it's like, no, you people aren't. Most people outside of this sphere don't even know what Gamergate is or was.
Yeah. No, like normie working class blue collar people got Trump elected, to be real, and independent voters who are working class people for the most part. That's who got Trump elected.
Love him or hate him, Michael Moore said it best when he said that Trump was the Molotov cocktail that the American people, the American factory worker, the American blue collar middle class threw into the guts of the machine because they were sick and fed up of the machine chewing them up.
Yeah. No. Well, what's
we're about to give him a second dose. Am I right?
Hopefully.
I'm hoping that Trump can pull off a win. I think the first time, admittedly, the Dems didn't take him seriously because they thought there's no way this guy could win.
They take him very seriously now.
Well,
the problem the first time was that Hillary Clinton didn't take him seriously and didn't fortify enough. But I don't think they'll make that mistake a second time. And I think the second time, well, they clearly didn't, because Biden was basically Hillary not taking him seriously enough.
Hillary or Biden equivalently end up being what amounts to an Obama third term. And that's what we've seen, like policy wise, right? The leaning more into the Green New Deal stuff, leaning more into bad economic policies, pissing off people that we've been traditionally allies with. That's a very Obama era thing. Biden hasn't done anything all that radically different from what you could have expected from Obama part 3.
Right. No, and that's the problem. Partially.
He's just demented and very funny.
I mean, I would say demented and sad, but okay, your definition of funny might
No,
be...
it's funny. It's funny, bro. Like when he gets stubborn with these people, like a stubborn old Irishman, it's hilarious to me because he doesn't even know what's going on, but he has that. It's like this internal spark of like that fucking Irish motherfucker that wants to fight you, right? And he doesn't know what he wants to fight you about. And he's like, look in here, fat. Listen up, fat.
It's like the dog that chases a car tire. It wouldn't know what the fuck to do with the tire when it caught it, but it knows that it really wants that fucking tire.
You're not going to tell me I can't run in 2024. I'm going to run in 2024. You got that, Jack? And they're like, oh, but if you run, we're going to fucking lose, Joe. Come on. Joe, what about all the classified documents? And he's like, what documents? You know?
well,
the ones we planted next to your Corvette so we can tell you to get the fuck off the ticket.
Well, with him,
we're taking the keys, old man. Go home.
With him, he could actually do the whole what documents thing and be like completely okay with it, because I people think I'm bullshitting when I say this, but I swear to God, the man has dementia. I mean, it's. I've watched both my grandparents on my dad's side, go through that. My grandfather's passed, and my grandmother's 92, and she's still going through it. But literally it's the same thing. Like, Biden's shaking hands with people who aren't even in the same room. And so if you want to stick classified documents, who better than to stick with the literal dementia patients?
Yeah, how many times have we seen him just carrying a folder? What if somebody that just wanted to fuck him up? Like, honestly, if I was a Democratic strategist, I also would want him not to run in 2024, right? Like that's the smart play. And if I was of that opinionation, it wouldn't be so hard to just hand him a folder full of those. How the fuck does he even know? He doesn't know where he is half the time. There's like the fact that there are reports, whether it's confirmed or not or anything like that. The fact there are reports that he shit himself in front of the Pope and farted in front of the Queen tells you all you need to know.
Which ultimately killed the Pope. I hear.
Like, it's wild that that's like a thing, but we're reporting that the president shit himself in front of the Pope. Breaking news.
Oh, it's cloud world. We're living in,
and nobody seems upset about this or like to say, well, why would the?
I bring this up a lot. I'm just worried that he's not going to be able to pull the George Bush and dodge that fucking shoe.
Trump drinks a fucking glass of water slowly, and they're like, we need to bust out the 25th Amendment, okay? But Biden literally shits himself in front of the Pope, and they're just like, yeah, this is normal. Like, this is foreign policy. What are you doing?
Don't forget when Trump was in leather bottom fucking fancy ass shoes trying to go down a wet ramp at a 45-degree angle and had to have one of the military guys help him down. No, he can't walk.
It took him an extra 5 seconds in his fucking 70s. Wow.
Meanwhile, Joe Biden is fucking constantly rolling down a fucking escalator because he fell up the stairs.
The bicycle is my favorite. When he's been riding the bicycle for some distance, clearly, right? And he comes to a stop because it's his photo op. He sees the fucking press there, and he just crashes. I've never seen anything.
Yeah, no. Someone, I guess some of you guys have all seen the meme of the guy that gets the cane stuck in the bicycle. Yeah. That meme. Someone literally took like stills from that thing of Biden, and it matches up perfectly. Like, it wasn't a Photoshop, but someone literally just took still images from that. And
Joe's just like, ching ching, listen here, fat.
So, but yeah, I mean, Vickers and I were talking, and the thing I keep hearing is that Gavin Newsom is going to run in 24. And Vickers is like, well, that would make sense because he fucked up San Francisco and they gave him, instead of shit canning him, they were like, oh, let's see how this guy does running the whole entire fucking state. And then
if you didn't get Me Too'd, it would have been Cuomo.
Oh yeah. It totally would have been. It totally.
He was the anointed one for them. They wanted to replace Joe Biden with him at one point.
And
then he got caught playing grab ass like it's fucking 1973.
Hot take. Let's take the sex offender over Joe Biden. At least he was grabbing of age ass.
Fair enough.
I
mean, he's just an old school New Yorker, and they used to get grabby like that, and now that's not acceptable. I say we shouldn't persecute a man for his culture. We should persecute a man because he's a garbage piece of shit with bad politics.
Whoa!
Did you just call that WAP a slur?
They gave him an Emmy too, or what was it? They gave him a Golden Globe or one of those awards, like, unironically.
Oh, got it. And remember when they were in love with Avenatti? How'd that turn out, huh?
Oh my!
He was the guy, right? He was gonna stop Trump, and he's the next president. They loved
The
him.
lawyer is so fucking bad, no lawyer would even defend him.
He got I think 20 years on one of these fucking criminal cases now. He's fucked for good. And he lost his case against Stormy Daniels as well, so he has to pay her back like millions of dollars that he stole from her.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot that he was someone who drug her ass out of the dustbin. So.
Yeah, and then he scammed Nike for a couple million, and he got hemmed up on that charge, and then he got sued by her because when he published her book or whatever, and all this fucking lawyer shit he was doing trying to sue Trump, he just took all her book money and like didn't give her any, and like he owed her royalties and shit.
Wait, Stormy Daniels wrote a book?
Yeah, she wrote a book about having
big fucking quotations and parentheses and asterisks on wrote.
I get you, and I agree that she probably didn't really write it, right? But she was contractually obligated, as now defined by a judge in court, to be owed money. And he didn't
but that
pay
contract was on a fucking cocktail napkin and had a bunch of fucking lipstick prints on it.
Bro, it held up in court, and he owes her that money. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
The decision's already been made.
It was.
What am I talking about? Tom Clancy rolled out a brand new bestseller last week. So,
but the funny part of that is like it's a Pyrrhic victory for Stormy Daniels because he's in prison for the next 20 years, and how the fuck is he ever going to pay her?
That is very true. But in that case, and in the case of like people like Ralph, I wouldn't even want the money. I just want the own.
Speaking of celebrities and doing weird shit, it seems that Kanye is actually borrowing a page from Ralph's playbook.
Shotgun wedding, baby.
And yeah, I
thought you were about to tell me he ate the poo.
That's the next step, right?
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's the next step. And
join us for Kanye's next album, Ralph a Male, available in September.
Looking forward to that hit track, Christ is King and eating shit.
We have I'll tell you what, this world has just become so weird. If you had told me like 10 years ago that Kanye West, arguably one of the biggest names in music, is going to end up in an obscure corner of the internet,
I'd have believed it. I just wouldn't have believed it would have been this. Like I would have had a harder time believing America first it would exist.
Broke, anti-Semitic, hated by everybody, probably no chance at reviving his career in any way, shape, or form. He married the bitch that worked at the Yeezy shoe factory as a designer.
Yeah.
Did you hear why he married her though?
No.
Because because he's a Christly man, so he can't have sex until marriage. So he married her so he could have sex.
He married her because he's horny. That's great. I'm sure that you know what he is a lot more like Ralph than we might have imagined at first.
No bullshit. Ralph wouldn't have waited, and neither would any slag. Oh, sorry, Faith.
No, but
neither would any slag whore that was interested in him.
But
Faith.
In that they make decisions based on like stupid reasons.
I'm sorry. I have to say another sorry, Faith. Whenever I'm saying that, I'm totally picturing just Pantsu the horse. I sometimes I forget that Faith was ever with him, but then there's like a kid there, so it's I don't know. Absolutely disavow that as an insult towards Faith. Not bad.
No. I think I DM'd her. I DM'd her the other day, and I'm like, I'm not even asking this to be mean, but like,
still after them feet pics.
But but like, why? What did you see? What did you see in him? And
well, as some amateur wrestlers are starting to find out tonight, it's because Ralph lies his ass off to people that don't know his lore and history.
You know,
lies.
Maybe I'm a stick in the mud or a curmudgeon, but I feel like people gotta stop it. Faith has told her fucking story.
No.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, this wasn't recent. This was when I first, like, you know, when I first found out who she was and whatnot. But God, I mean, he when I saw this,
I mean, to her credit, and back to kind of like my really bad joke, I literally, like, I don't even think of her as being a part of Ralph anymore. Like, whenever I think Faith Vickers now, I'm thinking like bacon, shitty looking cupcakes that look like they have shit for icing. Again, I'm not sorry on that one, Faith. That icing looked fucking rough.
That one will probably make her more upset, to be honest.
Probably. I bet it tasted great. I bet it tasted awesome, but it looked like shit. And I'm an ass, so you know you can trust me on that.
I decided not to, but I was gonna tweet. Wow, did that come from Genius? Did the icing come from Genius Anus?
Yeah, you know, she's like, "Hey, does this cake look good?" And I'm like, "Bleh." But no, like, legitimately anymore, whenever I think of Faith Vickers, I'm thinking of like baking, like, because that's all I ever see from her anymore is I bake this, or I'm going to bake this, or do I need to bake this? I'm just like, fucking diabetes.
I think of a big W tonight with the fucking papers being served.
Oh yeah, I bet you there was confetti all around it. It cost a lot of victors.
Now the question I have is this 5 different fucking cases, or is it the 2 cases served multiple times just to make sure you get the message?
I've heard that there was multiple cases being served, but I think the majority of the ones that were served were the Vickers.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I don't think I think he got served 4 times on the Vickers case, but I think one of the servings and possibly one that was brought in with the cops. I know that was Vickers, but I think they might have had 2 with them that he didn't talk about, and that's where he got served with the other case. I think the other case is probably credit fraud.
Plus he has that ongoing case with the fucking car accident, right?
No, he did community service and had horse. He had the horse do the driving course online for him, which is also fraudulent.
Yeah, of course. Well, it does seem like,
and he couldn't even afford that, so Pantsu had to borrow $25 from her daddy.
That's some stuff we could get into too, as well, with the accusation that they defrauded her father.
Is that the actual Harry Morris on? I
have no reason to believe that it's not, and Pantsu,
I don't either.
Pantsu interacts with it like it is. So
yeah, Pantsu interacts with it like it is. Let me rephrase that. I may or may not have confidential proof that it is them. You know, so read into that as much or as little as you want.
He certainly came through with the items he had, and the only way you could have had those items is if you were probably Harry Morris specifically.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I have no reason to believe either, but you know, you just never know on this, you know.
And I'll say this, that credit fraud is probably the biggest thing that Ralph is staring down the barrel of now. But because it's not like with the other stuff, it's the Vickers going through court and everything, and then they have to go through the court process and all of that. And, you know, the costs of money and time and effort and everything like that.
People always ask about this shit, but it's a grind to go through the court process. like this is the thing is like the Vickers are standing firm for what they're standing for or whatever.
Yeah,
because it would
They
be a
picked their
lot
fight.
easier. It would be a lot easier to walk away from a lot of this fucking shit.
Yeah.
and that's what all
But-
the
Just
that's
give
what-
him what he wants because it's easier, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
But this fraud shit is gonna eat Ralph alive, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop it now because it had to start off with Harry going to his bank and doing a chargeback and reporting it as fraud. So it's not the lawyers or the law office of Harry Morris that's going after Ralph right now. It's the big banker lawyers in the fraud department
Well,
that all they do is fraud.
You can't do that. Like even a child with a parent, if the parent wants it to be prosecuted, yes, they'll prosecute it. Just a pro tip for anybody out there that's unaware. If you authorize somebody to use your bank card to go get a pack of smokes, that authorizes them specifically to just go get a pack of smokes. It doesn't authorize them to use your card until the end of eternity.
Yeah, I mean, granted, most
You have
time
to
with
be
parents and kids and stuff, that's how it works, and it's just
Right.
it's parents and kids shit. But if the card holder marks it as fraud, all they really got to do is say that it's fraud, and then it's out of their hands.
Yeah, especially a big purchase, like I don't know, a wedding.
Yeah. Like maybe right now, if Harry Morris went back to his bank and said, actually, I remembered or I misremembered or whatever, I did tell him they could do this. If he tried to stop it right now, he might, and he would end up having to pay like a fee or something, most likely. He might be able to stop it.
They wouldn't be happy about it.
They wouldn't be happy about it, and the odds would be really slim. But the fact that it's in a bank legal department and fraud department, there's nothing nobody can do to stop it now. They're going to go for it, and they're FDIC insured and all that shit. So they have nothing but time and the want and resources to make people miserable.
This is what Ralph misses in life, I think, is that like he's such a child that he thinks if he got away with stealing a cookie one time, if he steals all the cookies in the jar, they'll never know it was him. That's Ralph's mentality. Like Ralph,
this whole hiding in Mexico is him thinking that he can run because it's just civil court and what the fuck ever. The cops aren't going to go internationally to pick him up on civil shit, right?
Right.
And he can, holler into the internet to his brain dead fans. Well, I want to see my boy, but I can't because the Vickers have a hit squad. He can spin that to lie about it. But the problem is with that fraud, that's fucking federal. And they will come into Mexico after him. They will go right into Mexico, and if they don't go themselves, they'll send somebody in there.
That's what I was thinking. Is like if he actually gets a warrant, wouldn't it? I don't know the legalities of it, but I just would like to explore this possibility of crowdfunding a project to hire Dog the Bounty Hunter and film a dog. I'm not even joking. I have the title. It's Dog Hog Ties the Rage Pig.
Yeah, and the thing is, you could probably do that. Like, if there's a warrant issued,
rock music going and make it like an episode of Dog, and then Ralph's all screaming, and Dog's like, "You got to chill out, bro."
And because it's in Mexico, there's probably a lot less regulations in how you could go about collecting a bounty.
But that's why Dog's famous. Is he's famous for going to Mexico and that one rapist.
Well, there's also, I don't know if any of you if either of you have seen the show Justified, but
bits and pieces.
But it's based off of a series of novels, and in one of those novels is little like the plot of the novel is Raylan Gibbons, who's like he's a ranger basically of some kind. He goes to Mexico to basically like arrest some redneck guy who is literally he's on the run for fraud basically. And so I'm like holy shit, Ralph is this guy but in real life.
I got another pitch if we can't get Dog on board for the project, right? We actually know a sort of in the sector bounty hunter that we could hire to track down the Rage Being. Wouldn't it be funny to set Goon versus Goon and hire primetime Alex Stein 99 to bounty hunt Ethan Ralph in Mexico?
See, my mind was going a little bit lower on the totem pole. I thought you were about to say Kitty Jones. You can go to fucking Fiverr right now.
No, Kenny Jones, like, he seems like a nice enough guy, but there's a little undertone with him of like, I would not want to piss that guy off.
You fucking wake up with snakes in your bed, man.
It's just he is such a patient guy, I think is the word.
Oh no, man. I spent a long time when I was covering him and the Him and Margaret thing, and I spent many a nights talking to him. He's not as patient as you would think.
Fair enough, but at least in terms of like revenge, is he's willing to wait a long time to kill.
Oh yeah.
I was when I first met Apex, or roughly like 6 months after I met Apex, I found that Apex was in the Aid Zero Discord server, and Apex had this thing that he would do every night where he would play like Discord psychiatrist, basically, and he did this one like open like live psychiatry session with Kenny Jones, and it was the weirdest. It was some of the weirdest shit I've ever heard. I was when Genius here did a podcast or like a Twitter space or whatever, talking to Kenny Jones.
Who the fuck are these internet people one?
And I came in not knowing any of that guy's story and just hearing like them talking about it and just asking questions. This is why I say I wouldn't want to piss him off, because he was a nice enough guy to me. He answered all my questions. I asked him some tough questions too. I wouldn't want him chasing me in Mexico. No.
And the thing about Kenny too is he, like you said, he'll tell you the truth even on the tough questions. It's just he skews it towards his perspective. He'll never admit that he stalked Margaret, but he kind of stalked Margaret. But then again, Margaret was a bigger piece of shit than him in the end. At least if you ask me.
Fair enough. My thing about him is, in his mind, I don't think it is stalking, you know? And that's why he's able to like cross those wires and justify it. Yeah. He doesn't realize how fucking creepy he can come off. And like I said, I think he's actually a nice guy, but he does come off very strange. I would wager he's probably on the spectrum, but I'm not a doctor.
I don't think he was always, and that was something I tried to point out in the space. He had a traumatic brain injury. He had a fucking aneurysm. True. And he's had like brain surgery and shit like that. And everybody that I've talked to that knew Kenny before his war with Margaret and before that brain surgery says that he was a completely different person. And then on top of that, during or right before or maybe right after that brain injury and surgery, he lost his dad and his brother.
Yeah, I mean, look, I said it then, is like I can't really judge. But it's an interesting tale, and he's an interesting character. Well, he just comes off like his mannerisms and his speech just kind of can be a bit creepy. He's a bit to the point.
Well, and then Genius, I know when I first met you, you kind of filled me in on the whole Margaret McLennan thing, because I wasn't there for Gamergate, but I was active in like 2015 and early 2016 when Milo was doing the whole,
privilege grant and everything. Which the privilege grant to me is still really sus. Like, I still have no idea what the fuck to make of the privilege grant.
Well, Milo himself is extremely sus.
It's so quaint to talk about, considering the string of grifts after that. Like, I don't just say it's sus, I say it's bullshit, because everything else Milo does is fucking sus. And I've met Milo. I met Milo at the Straight Pride Parade.
Well, don't get me wrong. I don't think that it's sus in the sense that I don't think it's sus in the sense that Milo wasn't running a scam. I just think it's sus that I think Margaret was involved in the scam
Probably.
and then just threw Milo under the bus because that's what they do. They backstab each other.
Yeah.
Because
a bunch of fame-seeking snakes.
Fun little bit of Ralph lore. Ralph used to be Milo's capo back in the fucking slacktivist days of Gamergate.
So is that why Larf? Oh boy,
Margaret was back in that time too. She was in those Slack conversations as well.
No, what I was gonna ask is that why Ralph LARPs as like a right winger then? Because I've never heard Ralph say anything that like
Ralph's right wing started during Gamergate when he was hanging out with Milo Yiannopoulos. He was hanging out with Sargon.
Ralph has said publicly that he voted for Obama twice, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think. Anyone who voted for Obama twice should never call themselves a conservative.
If you look up his Mean Girl blogs for around 2008 to 2010-ish, you can still, I don't know if they're still on his website. Probably not, because it's a shame. Well, before the, what was the dude's name that killed his father? Lane
Davis.
Lane Davis. Before that,
laid that out for me, because that was again a thing I missed, because I wasn't in any of these fucking circles.
I wasn't at the time. This is like from 4 or 5 years ago when I started backtracking on Ralph to start covering him as a journalistic project. So I had to go back and look through all the Kiwi farms and Cow and 4chan was still a thing. I had to go look through all these different fucking areas.
I got the hard question for the fucking sector journalist, though. How about that? Let's turn the tables here and ask you a question, okay?
Okay.
How does it feel to be usurped as best journalist in the sector by Augusto Kinoche?
I'm not.
I don't know. He breaks some solid stories.
What?
Like, I heard about some porn.
Oh yeah, that fucking broke that, didn't he?
He broke it all right.
I think shit like that is the only reason why I'm not really worried about. And I like Kinoche.
I do too. I'm just fucking with you anyway.
Don't get me fucking sideways. I like Kinoche. I really do, and he does good work. But he dabbles too much in the fucking bullshit like that. Like that's
why I like him though. Like if I had seen, because this is what I'm saying. If I was going through a video and I'd seen the perfect screenshot like that, I'd have done the exact same thing because it was funny. Because it was fucking funny, and it had a whole bunch of these fucking simps messaging to see Pantsu naked. Because as much as they make fun of her, they want to see her naked. You fucking
I messaged
hold on. Find Jesus, you simps. You really need to.
When it first broke, I did message the fucking Nicholas J. Fuentes account, but the question I asked was like, where did Digi drop this? I can't find where the fuck is Digi leaking this? I have no idea where the fuck it is. And I never got any response. And then I messaged some other people, and there was some more shameful.
For it. That's what you're saying. You fell for it.
I'm a journalist, man. Whenever something like that drops, I got to figure out where the fuck it is, whether it's true, who the fuck is involved. Like with the Ralph sex tape, how the fuck do we know it was Ralph?
So how deep up in her rectum do you want to go though? Like, do you want if
I going to watch the video? Probably not. I mean, if I do, I'll have to. If I was,
I think you have to. I think your journalistic integrity's on the line.
I would have to do enough to verify that it is what it says it is. I think
you'd have to frame by frame analyze it and timestamp.
Oh no, that's some Kino Casino bullshit. And everybody's talking about being mad about this. The only ones that I'm mad about is fucking PPP and Kino Casino, because they weren't just running with the fucking gaff. PPP was like fucking getting donos off of it. He's like, oh no, maybe I'll show you the video if you donate. He was like actively grifting off of it, and that's some shit that call me a moral fag if you want, but grifting off of something is fucking fake, like Ralph grifting off of his 9-inch pecker, man, that's fraudulent as fuck.
Or how about I'm looking now? There's video of Pantsu working the concession stand. Real top notch operation they're running over there.
Them Walmart bologna sandwiches.
Well, speaking of Pantsu Sims, I made Tommy Laren's Sims mad this week because she tweeted out something about how there are no gentlemen left under 40, and I'm like, this is rich coming from the blonde bimbo who made her entire career off being blonde eye candy for guys under 40, and yet she's complaining.
Sam did nothing wrong, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you're just. Well, no, she's an accomplished journalist. No, she got her ass handed to her by Trevor Noah, of all people.
Oof.
Well, I don't care. Like, I don't care who she is. You know, Jim's final point, I think, or one of his final points, sticks with me as it always has long before he said it, because it's my mentality too. Is like, we should be laughing at the people in power.
Yeah.
They're afraid of it.
I don't.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't.
They're a bunch of goofs. They fuck everything up. This is the thing. They're incompetent constantly. They're corrupt. They're fucking. They act like animals. They get caught doing stupid shit. And the one thing they don't want is for us to laugh at them. And we just got to give them the Ethan Ralph treatment right up onto the top, right?
Yeah, I don't
start A-logging politicians. That's the next level.
That's the Alex Stein way, man. Oh no,
yeah.
To me, you fucking laugh at, especially those in fucking power. It's like the old saying goes: if you want to know who's actually in control, find out who you can't make fun of. Castigate redendo mores. Laughter corrects morals.
Well, I mean,
there's plenty to laugh at.
Well,
2023 is shaping up to be a banner fucking year for lulz.
Well, the thing of it is, though, is that the whole thing of find out who you can't laugh at. That's basically the Wignat argument for, that's why the Jews run everything, because you can't mock them without repercussions.
So what?
Well, I would say, though, and this has been my argument, that argument doesn't really stand up, because if you've ever watched the show Curb Your Enthusiasm, it's Larry David, who is a Jew, little making fun of all the Jewish.
I don't know. Whenever you say that, I'm just thinking of fucking Norm Macdonald, where he was covering that actor in the fucking 80s or 90s or whatever, who apologized to the Jews.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah, and then the Jews accepted his apology and said he could continue working.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's. Yeah, I mean, it's like, there are levels.
Well, but that's the thing, is like, I don't think anything's off limits per se. You do have to be prepared that, like, if you make some fucking joke that's really foul, people are gonna react to you like it was a foul joke.
Yeah. I mean,
unfortunately, now that gets magnified by cancel culture, but still.
I'm not saying it's okay to tap dance in front of cripples. I'm just saying that if I ever see Sam Whitfield, I'll tap dance in front of him.
Well, what's over the line for me is pretty far, right? Because I have a dark sense of humor. But
what's it? If you
almost nothing is off limits for humor for me, right?
You could do an Irish jig in front of me, and I would laugh my ass.
Why? Because I'm Irish, you fucking racist. They will do a fucking river dance for you. I'll do it fucking drunk too.
Famous
Well,
podcaster outed as racist. Oh my god.
I'm Irish. I'm Irish too. Yeah. I'm Irish too.
Yeah, but you're crippled, dude. You gotta go on the right totem pole, buddy. Get back in your lane.
You're one of those self-loathing mix, right?
An alcoholic.
Yeah, and it looks like I'm always drunk since I have cerebral palsy. So
based. No one would ever know, right? You just go around. You could be
How many
pissed.
DUIs you got with that wheelchair, Sam?
I probably shouldn't admit this, but it's actually it can be hard to drive a power wheelchair after like 5 or 6 beers.
Sam's been getting away with DUIs for fucking ever. You been drinking, son? No, I have cerebral palsy.
The internet journalist just got me on my own show.
So I love this show. I'd come on here and beat a cripple up. No, everybody just laughs. It's part of the show.
It is part of the show. It started off as like you were seeing if you could get away with it, but it just became ingrained in the culture.
It
started off as being Apex seeing who could go further, and then it just never ended because we're both pretty fucking savage.
Where is Apex?
Apex is either drunk or sad or probably.
He said Ralphamania, man, did not see him. He was passed out on the Spanish announcer's table.
Tell him to stop being drunk and sad and come on and be drunk and sad with us.
Oh yeah, we're big sad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're
the three of us can spurn about video games all fucking night again.
Oh, which
my wife totally won't kill me if I do that.
Which
you don't sound too convinced of that.
Which limited run games that's the other proof that Gamergate was complete bullshit, because if Gamergate had in fact done anything or done what it initially set out to do,
I have a tweet here from one of the wrestlers from the show. Are you ready for this, guys? This I think
sure.
This comes from Brittany Jade, at Sad Hooligan. She was one of the wrestlers on the show. In fact, she was the one with the blue hair in one of the early matches for.
Oh.
She says things that happened during my match tonight in New Jersey. 1, a guy screamed "rape her" while I was in a submission by a guy. Things that shouldn't have fucking happened. 1, that. Yeah. I didn't expect that the female wrestlers were going to take kindly to the.
You mean that what? That actually means that in the coming days we could get some real fucking harvest. Because I thought the wrestlers were more in on it, but apparently they did not know what the fuck they were getting into, and that's going to lead to some.
My theory is that there was just one person he was connected with who maybe knew of Ralph or maybe
Chase
knew
Savage.
Ralph, but like the rest of them, it seems to me, it's just a normal like New England tier wrestling school, and that's unfortunate because I've been saying this before. I've talked to a lot of guys I know in the indie scene around here, up in Massachusetts, and basically they're saying if you were to work that show, it's unlikely you'll find work in the Northeast because there's a lot of promotions that are either run by or fucking work with a lot of Jews, and they're just not going to have anybody that works Ethan Ralph's show.
You know, especially whenever they find footage of you in a ring where everybody's chanting out "Hail Hitler" and "Rape her."
Exactly. Like, this is bad for people's fucking career, and it's unfortunate. I don't think that this girl was let in on the environment that she was going into, and that
no fucking way, man.
You're not wrong that this could end up in civil suits and shit. Like, who knows? If any of those guys there touched the female wrestlers, they're probably fucked, because there's a whole like wrestling Me Too kind of movement that's been going on.
Well, on top of that, there's a crowd saying "rape her, rape her."
Yeah.
So if she comes out and Me Too's that, it's fucking over. I'm sorry.
I don't think
true or false. You're fucked.
I've heard some crowds say some foul shit, but honestly, that might be the most foul shit I've ever heard from a crowd. So
well, yeah, I mean, wrestling crowds can get a little rowdy sometimes, but most of them don't go that far because most of them realize that it's a show.
I mean, I mean, I hope she just fucking shrugs her shoulders and moves on because it's really not that big a deal. And
Am I the
what?
only one that kind of got cult vibes with everything that they started chanting in that fucking crowd?
I'll be honest, me and a couple of my friends were just watching it muted and fucking commentating it ourselves.
There was a point where they were shouting "Christ is King"
Yeah.
over and over
Mhm.
as people were just getting beat to
Now,
smithereens.
what was that? Was that before or after the rape her chant?
Deering.
Probably. I heard it after,
It,
but
it
but
didn't matter what they were chanting either. It's just like I was waiting for Ralph to get on the mic and be like, all right, the Kool-Aid Bowl's over here. Make sure you wear your matching Ralph Amell shirts and your fucking Reeboks.
Well, I know some people that were definitely there, and they seem to concur that it was a fucking. I have an anonymous quote here for you from one person who was at the show. He said, "LOL, the crowd was not very black or Jew friendly. At one point, they started chanting 'fuck Jim.'"
That was another interesting thing for me is because a lot of people had snuck Confederates into that show. And I was very aware that some of our Confederates were meeting up with other Confederates from other groups.
Well, I think that might be what it was. I think everybody there was fucking with Ethan.
I think so too. There at the beginning of the
So
show. If you look at the crowd,
culty shit because one person chants something he thinks is culty, and everybody else just starts chanting along because they're all trying to be part of the cult because they're all sneaking in. That it's like a fucking.
Have you seen the stickers that Pod Awful people got in there?
Oh yeah, there was
the one on the corner of the ring is my favorite one because that was some sneaky shit, man.
Yeah, it said "Slaw is war."
I'm tempted to ask this chick if she wants to do an interview on the show. Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now.
Because
be nice.
Well, what I would like to know is how clued in she was on what kind of crowd that she was.
I have and actually, I can't access my DMs right now. I was going to try it as a birthday present. I'm in contact with somebody from the organization that helped put on the show. And I was trying to get them to come on to a Make-A-Wish stream for a friend of mine.
Because these girls, like, not just her, but maybe, like, what if the other one has anything? There was a couple girls on the show. They absolutely could potentially file a lawsuit against that company for hostile work environment.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
And that in New Jersey, it's funny because I saw Ralph mention that he did it in New Jersey because he said it was easier. And I'm like, New Jersey is one of the toughest states to run that shit in because of all the back end shit. It's just easier for him because he knew this one guy or whatever.
Yeah.
But the back end shit involves shit like that. Like, if these women feel sexually harassed in the workplace, they absolutely can sue for hostile workplace environment. And yeah, I'm pretty sure rape her is probably grounds for that.
Yeah.
And that's not on the fans in the crowd either. That's on the promoter, which unfortunately isn't Ethan. So it's.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the other thing too, that like I was like, Pardon was honestly surprised that this whole thing went through because you would think that like any fighting or wrestling promotion company might want to, do their homework.
I'm going to be honest. The biggest reason this went through the way that it did is because none of the A-Logs wanted it to get canceled.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like if you'll notice, they didn't get swatted as far as I'm aware or shut down by law enforcement.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The reason that this went through is because everybody wanted it to go through because everybody wanted to watch all the A-Logs fucking get their comeuppance. Like, Ralph.
It was A-Log Super Bowl. Let's be real.
It was, and they did not disappoint.
No, it was a hell of a game. Pod Awful won.
Everybody but Ralph and Ralph stands won, honestly.
And Pantsu.
Well, did you hear? Did you?
No,
hear
actually, I'm gonna have a hot take. Pantsu won because she got Ralph to fucking marry her. That sucker.
Yeah. She A-logged him into marriage.
She probably fed him that line about, oh, we can't testify against each other or whatever, and that was probably it.
However she did it, but I hate to kind of rain on that parade, but I've seen some of the footage and everything, and I think she's just a full-on cult. So I think my original take on Pantsu has been correct, and that she is the type of brain damage and psychopathy that Ralph is. One of them is an NPD, and the other one is a BPD, and together they form basically the type of psychopathy that the Ken and Barbie killers in Canada were.
Right. Well, so, she has no desire to go anywhere. That's why I say for Pantsu, her getting married is a win. Is it not fair to award her the W to get this fuck to marry her?
Oh yeah, she A-logged him until he married her when he definitely was not wanting to.
Yeah,
definitely was not wanting to.
Not that I root for these people because God, but you should to be fair and objective, that's a W for her.
I mean, she set out to get a baby pumped into her in a marriage, and she got it.
And now she's married to a guy that she gets fucking 8 times.
Yeah, so now she has to do that monkey paw thing where be careful what you wish for because you just might get it.
I mean,
and everything that comes with it, and you fucking deserve it.
I just want to, for my Pod Awful one thing, I just want to elaborate on that. Putting the goddamn paperwork in the toilets in the building beforehand is such next level A-logging that you can't help but say Pod Awful absolutely crushed it. Of course, the Vickers, big W's for them, right?
You want to know something? I can actually give a little bit of background on that. Sure. The A-logs, I don't know if they were all fucking Pod Awful because, again, a lot of Confederates were crossing a lot of Confederates, but they've been scoping out that location for a very long time.
Hey,
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have fucking wallpaper of shit in there.
Yeah, I mean, here's
it's not like it's a secure location. It's an American Legion, so
yeah.
But
they're going to be finding A-log tools and materials in there for fucking generations at this point.
I mean, here's my whole thing. I do feel bad for Harry, but unlike Faith, Pantsu or May or whatever her actual name is, is a lot older than Faith is. So that, I mean,
here's my thing on that, and fucking not only is Horse older than Faith, more knowledgeable than Faith because she was able to watch the Faith situation play at hand, but even beyond that, here's the thing, and here's why Pantsu gets no fucking sympathy for me. Not only is she older, more experienced, and was able to see the Faith stuff play out, she was an active fucking participant.
Right.
She's not a victim. She is an accomplice.
No. I've never thought that.
Yeah, she's not a victim. She's an accomplice. So whatever happens, whatever bad things happens to her from this, she fucking deserves it. I don't wish any harm on her, but I'm just saying she's an accomplice. She's a willing accomplice. She's not a victim.
Well, because people, and I don't know, it could be a troll. It could be troll tweets. They could be real. Who knows tone on Twitter, but there are people who are tweeting, at Harry, Harry, you need to save your daughter, and it's like, well, I'd say it, but too little, too late.
I mean, to give Harry credit from the leaks I've seen and everything, where him and I guess his wife or maybe Pantsu's older sister or younger sister or whatever were talking, like they thought several times that they'd managed to, get her to see the light. And she always said she was going to leave Ralph, but then she didn't.
So Ralph just tweeted, "Stay tuned to my Twitter. I have a little surprise for the haters. They've been getting worked hard. Scheduled tweet hitting in 10 minutes. TikTok."
Okay.
That was 10 minutes ago. I don't have his Twitter, so I have to go through hoops to see it.
I bet you it has something to do with Cisco, if I had to guess.
Oh, it would be devastating if fucking Harry was in on it with him and got all the A-logs fucking P.O. boxes and shit.
Okay, so I just made a tweet requesting an interview with that wrestler, and then someone just tweeted at me that it was John Doyle who said rape her. He's been denying it all night on. I didn't even know that John.
I would just like to hear what she has to say.
Yeah, that's
and the real question is, like I said, how much was she made aware? Because if she was told, hey, they're gonna yell like rape stuff at you, and she still went through with it, that's one thing. But if she was just told, hey, this is another Saturday at the American Legion, and all of a sudden they're yelling like crazy shit at her, she kind of has a point to be like shocked by it at the very least.
Well, like growing up during the Attitude Era, like I don't.
Even then, you wouldn't hear people yell rape her, right? Like that's.
Yeah, no one. I don't remember anyone like yelling rape her at like Trish Stratus or Tori Wilson or either of.
Who the fuck is John Doyle?
He does Heck Off Commie, and he runs like there's some kind of organization there. I kind of like John Doyle. John Doyle is like what would happen with Nick Fuentes if he was like not an absolute F slur.
Well, and also way older and more mature too, it seems.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, anybody past puberty is more mature than Fuentes.
And much better at expressing himself and more. Yeah, he's just the better version of like what Nick Fuentes thinks he is. But
Balenciaga garbage bag.
He's always tried to like John Doyle has always tried to not piss on Nick Fuentes because they do share some level of crossover, but at the same time, you know, he's not like his bestest buddy in the whole world hanging out with him all the time because John Doyle is not about the kind of, you know, anti-Jew stuff like America First is.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there was a long period of time where I think Jim.
Well, I mean, I actually have a question about that because everybody's saying that America First is anti-Jew and then Fuentes is anti-Jew. I was listening to a clip, I think on COG, of Nick Fuentes talking about Kanye and how he's married to a white woman and how Nick doesn't agree with race swapping, but because Kanye's his friend, he makes an exception. But he was talking to another one of their friends that's a Jewish rabbi or some shit. And the Jewish rabbi was the one that was much more against the race mixing. I don't know. This is all fucking garbled because I don't give a shit.
But like most normal people don't want to associate with anybody who's like an open racist or anti-Semite most of the time,
right?
That's just how it is, and I know that bothers a lot of them, but like it's just the fact of reality is that most people aren't of that mentality per se.
Yeah, and I mean,
not that everybody's like post-race or whatever, but like,
just because the left calls everybody racist doesn't mean that everybody actually is. I think that's the thing that little midgets like Ralph and Fuentes seem to forget. It's because they call us all racist doesn't mean that we all subscribe to that shit.
But that's the thing. They think we do. It goes back to like the all right stuff because they both like at least dabbled around that element, and the all right believes that fundamentally all white people believe what they believe, they just won't say it. But like that's actually like I'm here to inform you that's actually not the case. Most white people don't want to be seen as racist at all, even still, even after it's been driven into the fucking dirt and it's almost a useless insult. Still, they don't want to be seen that way because most white people in America, at least like they'll have a friend of different races or like they, whatever.
Oh, because they know they got that black friend. There you go, Matt.
Well, that's why they had to come up with a counter argument to that, right? They literally
I have
had to
two black friends.
they literally had to sit down and write out a counter argument to like, well, I hang out with like black people all the time because I live in an area where that's pretty common. And they're
Look,
like,
my
oh,
wife's
so you get a
boyfriend
black
is
friend?
black. Look, my wife's boyfriend is black. Okay, I'm good.
No, but the fact that they had to like literally counter that shit is the funny part to begin with. Because it shows that they know that that's like stupid, right? Their argument is going to be stupid no matter what it is. So fill it with as much postmodernist gibberish as you can.
I will give you the most frozen hot take in all the frozen hot takes, because it shouldn't be a hot take and it shouldn't be frozen. It should just be like the way shit is. All racism is bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all a joke.
No, it is. And I get exactly where you're coming from, Anus, because we shouldn't have to say that in 2022, but we do.
No. Well, the thing is like I won't say it most times because it's being compelled from me.
Yeah.
Right, and I'll make jokes because you can't fucking censor me. And this is the thing, I think, is what they're doing with. Okay, so they censored my generation with Dungeons and Dragons and metal music. Well, I'm here in my long hair. I got my Dungeons and Dragons box right over there, and I'm. Have you paid
Wizard of the Coast for the privilege?
Unfortunately, I'm also got that problem. That they're going for. It's like, hey, I'm glad I got 5e because I'm off the fucking train forever after some of their bullshit. But like the point being is that people told me, oh, you're gonna become a devil worshipping criminal because you're into these things. Well, now they're telling kids that, oh, you have to think this way, you have to speak this way. What they don't fucking understand is as much as you're gonna get the rise of trans kids, you're gonna get the rise of what I like to call based Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of people in my son's generation who are pretty fucking based just inherently and giving the middle finger to anybody telling them what to think.
Yeah.
Well, the culture is the pendulum, and in order to be the counterculture, you have to go opposite of what basically your parents believed. Everybody does it. Every generation does it. Every 20 years, it flips.
Well, and it's not even necessarily going against their parents because a lot of them have conservative parents, but it's against their teachers. Their teachers are at school telling them you have to use pronouns and you have to learn about, critical race theory and these kind of things. And like, this is the thing that I think a lot of parents freak out about this stuff and fight against it, and for good reason, right? But the other side that parents miss is that kids are a lot more savvy about these kind of things than they think. And one thing kids hate is being preached at what they should think, say, and act, and they will rebel against it.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it now with a lot of these conservative kids, and it's been going on for a few years. And so you're going to have this like highly charged Gen Alpha conservative wing already out the gate, ready to fucking go.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there is that, right? But then like that's also you get the and that's I don't want to say that's why Nick is a problem, but like, so you have all these base Gen Alpha kids, and then you have you have like the libtards and the SJWs screaming, oh, well, that's because Nick Fuentes and even like Steven Crowder are weaponizing the youth to be like racist and shit, right? And it's like no, we just don't want to be told that we're inherently racist because we're not black or trans or whatever. That's what it was with me. Like I I remember I had one teacher in high school who was like, all men are potential rapists, and I was like, that's the dumbest argument I've ever heard.
Well, all rocks are potentially hammers.
Yeah. Well, by that logic,
I've seen urinals that take less piss than that argument.
Oh yeah, and by the way, after Brittany Jade's was upset about those comments, I just like everybody to go over to onlyfans.com/Brittany Jade Pro, and you could donate to her there.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's if anyone in the audience wants to help her out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Sam got real quiet. He had to. You look in this camera, you can see him reaching for his wallet.
Well, that's the thing. It's my.
Sam's like, well, that interview ain't gonna get here without a little tip.
Oh, so I probably shouldn't share the link to the picture.
No.
Only to my DMs so I can check it out. You know, journalistic integrity.
Same here,
And Sam's like, pick me. I'm a journalist.
He was the one that me and my friends were saying looked most likely to have the most STDs of all the women on the show.
Really? I thought it was her opponent. Did you catch my live commentary on Twitter before I got bored?
No, me and my friends were just commentating to ourselves.
And I was color commentating on Twitter for like the first 2 matches, and I got bored. I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, I counted out how long until the first actual wrestling move in a wrestling match, and it actually took 53 minutes and 27 seconds from the first bell until the first wrestling move.
From the first bell, so this isn't even counting the hour late he was on stream.
Right, I'm just counting from the first bell. So not even him getting served, not even the national anthem. From the first bell until the first wrestling move was 53 minutes. Everything up to that point was Irish whips, strikes. There was a couple of little snapmares, but they were performed poorly enough where I am confident to say that they were not wrestling moves. And and the first wrestling move was, I believe, a sidewalk slam.
So is it just because, again, I haven't watched wrestling since it was still the Attitude Era?
Yeah, but you would figure, yes, but you would figure that in a wrestling match you might see some wrestling moves,
right? But is it just me, or was this like beyond amateur? Like I could.
No, this is this is the definition.
You could clearly
of an outlaw indie mud show. That's what this was.
Listen, I've seen better wrestling at like a carnival with like drunk carnies.
Nobody got juice on this show. Nobody. This is supposed to be a big deal show, and you're not going to get juice. What are you doing? What are these people like? Fuck Ralph and all those people. What is this AAW or whatever the fuck these people are doing? Like, you have a big event, probably in front of the biggest audience you'll ever see in your entire life, and you don't even get juice. You bleed all over that motherfucking ring, so people will remember, hey, that guy that was bleeding, holy shit. Everything else at Ralph-A-Mania was fucking
That was another thing that I was surprised I didn't see in that. I figured it'd be like a fucking indie horror movie. I figured the female match... Yeah, I figured the female match would have wardrobe malfunctions. I figured there'd be blood everywhere.
Yeah, they really underwhelmed.
I figured they would have. I figured they would have like. I figured they would have like decent like stage lighting or something instead of the
lighting of the wonderful color of melanoma.
Well, I mean, my first thought was, why does this look like it's taking place in a church?
Fluorescent lighting doesn't do Ralph very many favors. Okay. You can really see the jaundice.
I think Ralph might have talked about you.
Me?
Genius? Yeah.
Me?
I'm telling you, it has to do with Michael Sisko, because I was in Michael Sisko's DMs and Sisko was feeding me a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Which you'll notice I never published anything about it because it was fucking bullshit.
Justin Hayes commented to it. I can't see the Ralph comment, but it says, I'm just sad to see that Genius Anus isn't a real proctologist. And so I had to get that comment out there because that one cracked me up.
Oh man. Sorry, you have to get somebody else to worm around inside your anus.
Well, look. Not every human is a human doctor. Not every ass is an ass doctor. It's really simple.
It's okay though. It's okay though, Ralph. Your little boy Cisco wasn't the only person feeding me shit. He was just the one feeding me the bullshit.
I love how all of the I love how all of the Ralph stands are like, she's not going to sleep with you, bro. Did I ever once mention that?
I mean, oh man.
I wasn't the one yelling rape her at a live event. Anyway, it's just
it was a shit show for the ages.
Oh, we all knew it was going. It was going to be. Well, and then he announced that they're going to do the Kingpin Invitational, whatever Ralph calls his bowling event. He said he's going to do his second annual one of those. So I hope he does that for the lulz.
I hope he doesn't. Honestly, it's not even other than the AHOGs, which can do this shit, and I don't know. This one left kind of a bad taste in my mouth because it was boring. Other than the one or two things that happened.
That's exactly what I expected, though. That's exactly because that's how it usually is. There's like the bowling stream. There was some funny shit that happened, but most of it was just Ralph ranting about how he was the best thing ever. Or arguing with Destiny about the microphone, which was kind of funny, but
okay, yeah, the Destiny shit, the fucking Bowarama was pretty fucking funny.
Him arguing with Destiny about the microphone was like a fucking Abbott and Costello sketch or something. So I liked that one. Yeah, it was great. It's fucking hilarious. They just kept going in circles and being stupid.
Why is speaking of wrestling? Why is China trending on Twitter all?
Because it was her birthday recently.
Oh, okay.
Because people are pushing to get her in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, as an individual act or whatever, I know she got put in with DX, but that's what I've been seeing.
I mean, she's one of the wrestlers that I can remember, so. Maybe there's something to her being in the Hall of Fame.
I bet most men of a certain age remember seeing a lot of China.
I didn't say where I remembered her from. Just said that I remember her.
I've seen a lot of Sable too. That was the other one.
Yeah. Just saying, China. She liked to match the drapes with the rugs.
I remember everybody saying she was a dude when I was a kid. That's pretty funny. But not unwarranted because a big muscled out broad is a pretty rare commodity.
Yeah, back in the 90s it was her and Lucy Lawless, and that was about it. Yeah,
and she was way more swole than Lucy Lawless.
Yeah, but Lucy Lawless was way more hot.
Well, those two things are probably correlated directly.
Probably.
I don't know.
Lucy Lawless was on, I believe, less drugs, at least back in the time.
Well, there's always Sunny, right? She just killed a guy in a drunk driving accident, so that's fun.
That guy was totally in the wrong side of that sidewalk. It was his fault.
He was parked. Well, he wasn't parked, but he was stopped at a red light, and he was an 86-year-old man. She rear-ended him so hard that she killed him.
Oh, jeez.
She's going away for life. Sunny is done for.
Yeah,
because it's like her 12th DUI.
Fuck.
She made multiple porn movies, like way after her sell-by date, and she also like wore her WWE Hall of Fame ring in them, so they sued Vivid Entertainment. It's just a mess. And then she tried to auction her WWE Hall of Fame ring on eBay to pay for like crack. She's a mess, man. Sunny is like the biggest mess wrestling's ever seen.
So is I've heard that Major Guns, or however you pronounce her name, hasn't cleaned up too well either.
That one I'm not familiar with.
I'm not familiar with that one either.
Tailing Buck, I think, is her actual name, or her stage name.
So. I have no idea.
Oh yeah, so Ralph is using your. Okay, so Ralph is using your DMs to suggest that Gator was secretly leaking information all along. Long before he was the Traitor Gator, and that was his big reveal. Remember when he said wait 10 minutes for the big reveal? That was it. And that's why people are talking about you.
Dude, Gator and me have never talked. That was bait for Cisco, because I knew Cisco was fucking with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it says right on it. It says, "Do you want to let this person message you, accept or reply?" So like he never replied to you.
No. Wait, you talking about Cisco? Cisco replied to me a lot.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what.
But
Ralph's
Gator,
trying to
I've
get
never
at
talked
here.
to. I've never talked to Gator.
I don't know. I don't know much about a lot of these people, to be honest with you.
I knew that Cisco was fucking feeding me a line of bullshit. So I fed him a little bit of a piece of bullshit that it wouldn't amount to anything, because even if Gator was one of my sources feeding me information all along, what the fuck would that change at this point? And if Gator was, why was I not the one breaking all that fucking story?
Like you're thinking it, you're overthinking it. Do you know why it would matter to him at this point? Because
why?
He's desperate for a W, because think of all the L's he took tonight. That's all it is. He's just desperate. I guess so. Bro, he's out at a party bus at a fucking hotel partying with these people, typing this
still
shit
trying
up on
to
Twitter.
Fucking scrape a win off the wall.
It's so sad, man. It's pathetic.
Yeah, Ralph. Yeah, your boy Michael Cisco. Mm-hmm. He totally fucking got me. That's why I published all the bullshit that he said breaking news on it, didn't I? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, buddy. But yeah, no. Fucking true facts. I've never talked to Gator. Well, I haven't talked to Gator since Spike Club was still a thing, and then I only briefly talked to Gator. Gator probably has no idea who the fuck I am. Well, I take that back. Gator probably does know who the fuck I am, but not. Gator was never a source.
We got Augusto Kinoche with another breaking news story.
What's up?
I'm being told by sources who wish to remain anonymous that Ethan Ralph, convicted sex offender, clogged the toilet at the bingo hall tonight, and that it was like this for an hour. And there is a picture.
Okay. I mean, the Washington, D.C. thing with Corinne kind of corroborates that, I would think.
Yeah, see, it's a pattern, really.
Let's see. So I'm getting some people who are also, for your story, look at the quote tweet. We look at the QRTs to her tweet. Many of them are Groypers fans, the owner of where convicted sex offender Ethan Ralph streams. I know all that. I know that Fuentes is so basically he's saying that whoever is responding is basically saying that all the people who were saying rape her were Groypers.
Shock of shock.
Oh wow, that's a shocker.
Yeah, Yeah, that's a real shock.
But you know, like I say, if you really want to help this broad out, you just hit up her OnlyFans, because clearly she's a woman of character. She looked it.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Of course, then there are going to be people who are saying, "Oh, so you're saying she should get raped?" No, that's not what anyone here is saying. We're just pointing out that she has an OnlyFans.
I'm not saying she should get raped. I'm saying if it were to happen, I would probably not care, because it's not my problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
But should she have been notified that this crowd might yell some foul shit at you? Mm-hmm. If she was, then I have no sympathy for her.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think. My theory is I don't think this company really knew who they were dealing with, because if they had,
at least the one did, like that Chase guy.
Yeah, that Chase guy seemed to have known at least a little bit of it. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna be on mute. I'm gonna try something. If I drop out, I'll be right back. I just need to look at something.
About to go fap.
Yeah.
I already did that.
Yeah, you already hit up Brittany Jade's OnlyFans, I bet. Right? No, I mean, the whole thing was an amazing little shit show, and I'm glad to have witnessed the fun parts of it, and even the boring parts, because that's what makes it better, is that it was a bad wrestling show on top of all of it.
Yeah. If
he put on a good wrestling show, it would kind of lessen the sting of all the other shit. It really needed to be like a 0 stars wrestling show to make up for that. I think they pulled it off.
If this was your introduction to quote unquote pro wrestling, heavy quotes on pro, then yeah, I feel bad for you if this was your introduction to wrestling.
A couple things that I could point out, speaking of like quote unquote pro, most of these guys were not wearing wrestling boots. And what that to me indicates is that you don't care about wrestling at all, because maybe 60 years ago you had to find the special guy who makes the wrestling boots, but you could go on Amazon for $50 and get professional grade wrestling boots, and these motherfuckers don't have them. Then you don't give a shit about the craft. Why don't you just hang it up? Wrestling is a thing where you don't need much, right? But boots is kind of part of it. Most of those guys were wearing shin pads with fucking sneakers in them.
Yeah, well, most of them
ghetto as fuck.
Yeah, most of them didn't even have like costumes or anything.
Yeah, and they were wearing other there's a couple rules about trash bag wrestling, right? One rule of if you don't want to be a trash bag wrestler, don't wear another wrestler's merchandise. Almost all of them were wearing other wrestlers, like more famous, right? So you're trying to draw a comparison and you can't live up to it because you're a schlub.
Isn't that how like a lot of the the wrestling porn parodies have like tried to do though, or something
I'm not well versed in that subject, but I am well versed in the,
neither am I. I'm just
I know this, right? These guys, didn't really fucking put on a good show. They're either untrained and can't put on a good show, or they half-assed it. Because, again, 53 minutes until a wrestling move at a wrestling show. That's mental. And no, I don't count drop kick, because that's still a strike. So what's the difference between a drop kick and a punch?
Well, but to be honest, I wasn't like because like in order to like,
I know. I just want to point out how bad a wrestling show it was on top of everything else.
I mean, if
I didn't expect WrestleMania 7 here, right?
No, but I mean, here's the thing. If Ralph wanted to, he could have maybe like honestly put out like a good, you know,
he couldn't, because he couldn't get the talent.
Well, yeah, that's
he'd been planning this for a year. If he could have gotten the talent, he would have. But yes, I think if he had the talent, you're probably right. He could have put on better than what was put on there. He could have booked it or whatever. They didn't really have any booking, right? It was like, these people are going to fight these people. And that's it.
Well, what I'm saying is, he is Mr. Biggest in the sector. Probably didn't have the money to get even like a decent.
It's not even the money. A lot of people were immediately unwilling to work with him. He did have some bigger name people. I can't say who, but there was some bigger name people who are currently signed to bigger television deals on bigger companies who had been contacted about going to it. And as soon as they read about, the event and who's hosting it, they declined, because that would affect their career. Because you don't want to be associated with fucking Ethan Ralph. Like, it's being associated with Ethan Ralph professionally like that is not good for an indie wrestler. It would ruin you.
Let me see.
Unless you're a weekend warrior like these guys are. Like, these guys are never going to make it. I was one of them. I quit because I realized that. I was like, this is dumb then. I'm just playing pretend with my friends. If there's no room for advancement, if I'm not going to get anywhere and become successful, then I don't want to waste my time. I understand why a lot of these guys do, though. I get it. They have fun playing with their fucking friends, but they're no good at it. They're just playing pretending to be wrestlers.
Well, I mean,
and there wasn't like anybody over 6 feet in the entire building.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. This is definitely not the venue that you want to that you wanted to go to if you were looking at getting scouted by AEW or WWE or any one of the.
Notice even people who have recently been fired from either company are nowhere to be found. Like, no one from any major company was there. Nobody with a name value at all was there. And I think it's more.
From my understanding, and Ralph talked about this on the Ralphomania stream, is that maybe the production, because he said it when talking about how they had no belt. So there technically wasn't a Sunset Championship. And then he mentioned very briefly something about if the production wants to take it further or whatever, talking about the belt and the championship. And from my understanding, whoever helped Ralph, I think it's the AAW or whoever was doing that was wanting to kind of, and Chase Savage or whatever said this on the Keno Casino, wanted to use this as a lily pad to kind of kickstart off.
Yeah, because they thought maybe they could get some internet buzz. Look, it happened with Jim Sterling not that long ago, where he came to some indie promotion and it gave them buzz, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
And I don't know what his new pronouns are, and I'm sorry if your channel is struck because I'm
unentertaining and unentertaining and unsubscribed for me.
Fuck Jim Sterling has been the catchphrase on my gaming channel since day one. But he did wrestling, and it got some of those guys a little bit of buzz. They got seen by other people. They get more bookings. I'm sure that was what was being sold to these people, But
sure as fuck wasn't his acting talent.
I would just like to point out, I'm surprised that Mersh wasn't at this event. At least not that I saw. I was told.
Yeah, and we all would have saw him. He's fat.
Well, he would have made it, but his Beamer had some mechanical issues, and
He just needs another donation goal tomorrow night, and then he can go to Ralphomania.
Well,
he can go to Ralphomania too with your help, chat.
Maybe the cats were keeping at home, were keeping him at home this time, but no, he was. Well, no, I'm surprised because old Hollywood Mersh was recently in a Peacock documentary about Teddy Hart. I
He
guess.
was. He was one locale to another, right? It's so wild that crossover happened. I'm still blown away because like Teddy Hart is like to wrestling what Ralph is to the rest of the internet. Like Teddy Hart is such a locale, it's hard to even describe. And it's kind of sad because he does come from that famous wrestling Hart family. He's kind of the last of the wrestling Harts. And he's the last one that had trained in the dungeon as well.
Well, and from what I understand, because I wasn't familiar with Mercer ROTC until they started covering Owen Benjamin, who's one of my locales. But from what I understand, Mersh like first got big-ish from covering Teddy Hart back like years ago. So
yeah,
I don't know.
He would come on like Opie and Anthony with like news about Teddy Hart. I think it was that kind of thing because it would be his specialty story or whatever. But Teddy Hart, did you watch that documentary?
No, I don't. I'm not gay. I don't subscribe to Peacock.
Well, I don't either, but like Comcast gives it to me for free because it's my cable or whatever.
Yeah, I don't have either of those. So
I highly recommend it.
Hey Sam, I'll be right back again, but I might have you a birthday present. Okay.
Okay.
I'll be back here shortly.
It's he wants to breed cats and also run this wrestling school, but he treats the people at the wrestling school like his slaves, and it's usually chicks that he's like grooming. And
right, yeah.
And the one girl went missing and is presumed dead, and he was the last person to see her, but nobody, law enforcement doesn't seem to have any avenue for it. And it's just like that documentary is amazingly shot, and you can tell the documentary maker at first wanted to just do this quirky guy who breeds cats and also is a wrestler. And then they realize like there's possibly a murder here. This guy's crazy on drugs, running, doing all kinds of insane shit. Let's just follow him around with a camera and see how much of it we can film.
Yeah, because I guess so I didn't watch the documentary, but I saw Pod Awful did a special on to see what Mersh was like going to say in it, and I guess Mersh was claiming that like it was going to be like as big as the Tiger King or something like that.
Well, I mean I'd expect him to do that, right?
Yeah, and of course it wasn't, but like a lot of the Teddy stuff, like in regards to the stuff with the girl, like I knew because of true crime podcasts and whatnot. So
yeah, but so the documentary filmmaker didn't know any of that though. That's kind of why it's interesting. He went in thinking there's this quirky guy with wrestling and cats, and he was mostly focused on the cats. He's like one of those people, and then slowly he realized that he actually had a story here, but he didn't. It seems like the one thing about that documentary I will say is it seems like he didn't exactly know how to tell the story correctly, but he knows there's a story there, and it's compelling as fuck to watch this insane Teddy Hart who's clearly drugged out. He's in like multiple polyamorous relationships. He's got a criminal record a mile long. He's grooming girls who are young and getting into wrestling, sometimes underage, into wrestling. And girls come to wrestle for him at his school and then like disappear forever and no one ever hears from him.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What do you think of this whole thing with Vince possibly selling?
Oh, it's not possible. That's his whole reason for coming back, and I understand. I think at the end of the day,
but to the
Vince-
fucking Saudis, that's what I know he's selling. That much is obvious, but to the
well, they're one potential buyer. Like all they've said officially is that we're scouting buyers. I could potentially see them selling it to the Saudi. Yes, I could. That would be viable through like an investment firm. I mean, you know, people cringe at that or say, "Oh, well, to the Saudis." How many video game companies are owned by Saudi firms that you didn't even know about?
that's a fair point. I guess the big freak out from a lot of my followers,
Television studios too, I guess.
Well, the big freak out from a lot of my followers is like they're gonna get rid of women's wrestling then
Because it sucks. Nobody wants to fucking tell the truth. But it's like the fakest fucking thing about wrestling. And just because it's a little better now than it had been like 10 years ago, it's still the fakest fucking thing in wrestling. It's still like there are a couple of like must-see like main event women's matches in WWE, or okay, you get your Charlotte Flair big main event once in a while, okay? But the average women's match in WWE, and I watch a lot of them still to this day, are the bathroom break. They're terrible.
But also you're a happily married guy and people don't exactly.
But there's porn on the internet, Sam. You don't have to look at Becky Lynch's thong riding up too high. You can fucking go look at porn.
I know,
because at that point it's the same thing, right?
I know that, but there are a lot of people who will make the argument that that's what the women's division is for, like or not, that's what it's there for.
Cool. If the Saudis are against it, I'm all for it.
I actually like that. I actually like that take then.
Look. I believe it's the oldest mentality in the book, right? Is that women don't belong in the ring. They can be around the ring. They can walk to the ring, but you don't get the women in the ring.
I don't think the Saudis would change.
Because it's a joke.
I don't think the Saudis would change a thing.
No, I think what would happen is they would have an investment firm buy it and let them run the company the way they usually run, unless they run into severe financial troubles or they draw Muhammad or something.
Based.
Tonight on Monday Night Raw, we're going to draw Muhammad in the main event, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh no! Oh, that's strange. Why are there bomb threats all of this? Why are there bomb threats all of a sudden? Well,
I'm going to call it a night, my friend. I just wanted to come by and wish you the happiest of birthdays, as always.
Thank you. I'll be 28 on Tuesday, so pushing 30. Genius Anus might be back. I am paying attention to his tweets.
His tweets, oh god.
Oh shit. So from Vicious Figures, wait a second. Are you saying that the big reveal will be that Ralph directed someone to contact someone else as strictly prohibited by a... Okay, I think I know why Genius left for a sec. But
well, I apologize for leaving you hanging, but my wife stepped out for a bit, and the boy is over his grandmother's for the weekend, and we have some peaceful time. But I did want to swing by and say what's up, so I will catch you next time, sir.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, Max, and hopefully we can do another Cringing with Coffee soon or something. So
I got some stuff in the works. Yeah, that's for
sure.
Yeah. I got a couple of projects in mind. I'll get back to you on that. I also I'm still gonna work on some ad bumpers for you. I guess I have an idea for like a hardcore gangster rap one, but I'm not sure how you'd feel about that.
Hey, I'd be down for it. So,
all right, I'll whip some stuff up for you, and you can just you can have your audience vote on it or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good.
All right, man. I'll catch you later.
Alrighty. Take care. And I'll wait for Genius Anus to come back, because he did say that he does have something else. So yeah. Maybe if I can get him and Vickers to jump on. But then again, oh shoot. See, this is the bummer here, folks, is I'm using my I'm actually using my camera right now as the I'm using my phone as my webcam right now, so yeah, I can't use the app to DM. But anyway, yeah, we'll give it a few more minutes, and if Genius doesn't come back, I guess we'll call it a night. Felon in Meadow says, "Wow, Sammy just kicked all two of his guests off." I didn't kick them off, Fel. They left of their own accord. Phil also asked earlier, Sammy, how many accounts are you subscribed to on there? Disappointed. I have no idea. I have no idea what you're referring to. Fellow, are you referring to OnlyFans? Because the answer is 0. The only reason I would go on the only reason I would go into OnlyFans would be to start on OnlyFans to post this show, because inevitably YouTube would ban this thing. And fellow says fake news. Well, you know, that's what you're I'm that's it. So fellow is saying I'm a whore then? Well, I wouldn't say I'm a whore. I mean, I've been called a grifter. I'm not sure about a whore. Although I am into politics, so some people might say I'm a political whore. It depends on what your definition of whore is. Or as Bill Clinton put it eloquently in the 90s, it depends on what your definition of is. And Oki, I'm not gonna kick you off my birthday show, because I had no idea that you were even here. But good to see you. So much hesitation. Also, fake news. I didn't hesitate on anything. What are you talking about, fellow? but horror hooker, same thing. Well, I mean, listen, Phil, if you need a company, I mean, I would. You wouldn't have to pay me for anything, Phil. But I don't think Whiskey would like that. I don't think Mr. Whiskey would like that very much. So, but yeah, speaking of internet whores and whatnot, I guess Apex fell down a fell down a well or something, since he's not here. So yeah, in the meantime, let me see if either the Vickers or the Anus Face are going to come on here. So let me just shoot a few DMs. But yeah, I will be I'll be doing another show on Tuesday. So yeah. Let me see. But yeah, I'll be doing a second. I'll be doing part 2 of this on Tuesday. And then Friday, well, no, next weekend I'm not doing a show because next weekend I'll be going up to Cape Coral to go see the Kennedy Space Center, actually. But yeah, let me see if Genius Andis will get back here. If not, then I guess we'll call it an evening then. It all just depends on. So, all right, yeah, he's not coming back, so he let's see. But anyway, well, folks, I think that'll do it for part 1 of the show then. So anyway, thanks for tuning in to part 1 of my birthday stream. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back on Tuesday, I guess, to do part 2 of this, same time. Maybe not as late though, so but anyway. I hope everyone is doing well, and have a good evening, good rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday then. Take care, folks, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening to The Whitfield Report on the NGC Network. Please visit Sam's website at www.thesamwhitfield.com and support Sam on Patreon at patreon.com/Whitfield Report. Until next time, God bless, God save this great nation, and God, freedom, legacy, in that order.